This is the Rookie Big Board Rookie Profile Series. I'm your host, Matt Hicks, the FF Educator, here with John Lobb, the Gridiron Scholar, to start our series breaking down the top 2023 NFL draft picks in their fantasy football context in 10 minutes or less. We're going to cover their background, their film analysis, a statistical breakdown, and we're going to talk fantasy football and NFL draft projection. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube, you like this video, drop us a comment, let us know if you agree, disagree on our analysis here for USC wide receiver Jordan Addison. John, let's dig right into this prolific prospect.
Matt, he's easily one of the top 5 wide receivers in this draft class. And we go back to his high school. He was a 4-star prospect who was a 4-year varsity starter. So you're looking at a young man who started at 14 years of age against seniors and 18-year-olds. He was so good, he played wide receiver, quarterback, and defensive back. He was rated the nation's number 21 wide receiver by 24/7 Sports. He ends up going to the University of Pittsburgh. So we have in the graph there USC, but he ended up going to Pittsburgh first. And if you're looking for early breakout stars, Matt, Jordan Addison is going to pop in your model. He was named freshman All-American, honorable mention All-ACC, and he was the ACC Rookie of the Year running up to Kyren Williams, the running back who is now on the Rams, who was at Notre Dame that year. He was the first freshman to lead the Panthers in receiving since Tyler Boyd in 2013. He had 60 receptions, Matt, for 666 yards and 4 touchdowns. That is super impressive for a freshman. Then in 2021, he was still a Panther at that time. He was the Biletnikoff Award winner, Matt. Incredible season for the Panthers. He was also consensus first-team All-American. The only other 2 Panthers who have been Biletnikoff Award winners were Antonio Bryant and Larry Fitzgerald. He had 100 catches from Kenny Pickett that year for 1,593 yards and 17 touchdowns. He ranked 4th nationally in total receiving yards, and he totaled 8 100-yard receiving games. But he made a decision, Matt, at the end of that year. He decided to enter the transfer portal, and he ended up going to University of Southern California. Last season, his first and only year on the USC campus, he was first team All Pac-12. He had 59 catches for 875 yards and 8 touchdowns. To put it into context, Matt, Lincoln Riley's offense is not going to pepper one receiver. They spread the ball around. Even CeeDee Lamb, even though he was great at Oklahoma, he didn't have like that 1,600-yard season. That's not how Lincoln Riley orchestrates his offense. Jordan Addison also missed a couple games for the Trojans last year, and he did not play in the bowl game. So those numbers are fairly good. They're nice, even though they don't look as good compared to the Biletnikoff Award winner. Matt, that's his career. What do your numbers and film breakdowns say?
Yeah, John, digging into the film here, you're looking at a wide receiver coming in at 6'0", 175. A few years ago, John, those would be terrifying numbers, but now we've seen that build work in the NFL, right? We see it with Devonta Smith. We see it consistently here that these wide receivers are not only able to produce, but NFL teams don't shy away from drafting them, right? When you look at Jordan Addison, the first thing that's going to stick out on his tape is he is a speedy field stretcher, all right? He's able to win into that deep third of the field. And for fantasy football purposes, John, that should get us excited. All right. When a wide receiver can win in the deep part of the field, that means touchdowns and that means upside, right? And it can offset volume that could potentially come with a less than ideal landing spot. So there's a lot of upside here when you see somebody who can win deep, but it's not just deep. Addison consistently gains separation at all 3 levels of the field. And this is key, John, because it shows improvement on tape. My biggest knock on Jordan Addison from 2021 tape is that he got jammed a lot. Now, Pac-12 defensive backs, not as competitive as ACC defensive backs, but I saw more consistent separation for Jordan Addison off the line and getting jammed downfield. It was actually getting jammed downfield that I was the most concerned with, not necessarily off the release, because he's facing mostly off coverage at the college level. So I see improvement, John, and the ability to win at all three levels of the field. Consistent handwork. It sounds simple, but wide receivers need good hands, and that's not always something that these prospects come in with. Addison has sticky, consistent hands. It shows through in his receptions and his numbers. And John, great ball tracking. For a guy who's 6'0", 175, he is able to go for off-target passes well, has great ball tracking. When it comes to his downside here, he lacks a little bit of that physicality. I mentioned earlier, he can get jammed against press coverage. That'll be a little bit of a learning curve in the NFL, but his speed and his handwork should offset those physical limitations. Addison is absolutely coming in here as a top-tier wide receiver prospect. John, that's the film here. Let's dig a little bit more into the stats.
Matt, I loved your analysis because I agree 100%. And I will say this, if this was 5 or 6 years ago, I would have been lower in my rankings on Jordan Addison than I am now. But last year, I fell in love with Garrett Wilson. And this year, he is my man crush, is Jordan Addison. Not only do I love the film and everything you said, I plugged him into my model, Matt. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you'll see his numbers. He hits so many of my benchmarks. So the film work is outstanding, but the actual production is amazing. 219 career receptions. And what I like about it even more, Matt, he switched programs. That might seem insignificant to some people, but this was the Biletnikoff Award winner. And he decided to go to another school, learn another offense, and he played extremely well. That is so important to me. He should be able to learn an NFL offense, and the numbers are outstanding. Catch percentage, 69%. You said it. He has sticky hands. I think he's effortless catching the football. And there's some contortionist catches. If you watch enough of him, he has some catches that are pretty outstanding with his hands. Great body control. Yards per reception, I like it, 14.3. I would like to add a little bit about 15, but if you watch enough of Jordan Addison, there's a lot of quick screens and a lot of sweeps they throw to him, so the numbers come down, but they also throw deep on him. So I like the 14.3. I'm good with that. Aerial dominator, Matt. 34% of the Pittsburgh Panthers offense 2 years ago. I go by the highest number of the college career. Outstanding. 6'0", 175 does not bother me anymore. We've seen this type, this athleticism, this frame can be successful at the NFL level. And receiving yards per team pass attempt. Matt, I'm looking for a baseline of 2.5. He shatters it at 2.92. My model loves him. I love the film work. What else do we have for Jordan Addison and our fantasy fans?
John, we're not the only ones who are going to love Jordan Addison here. When we talk about projecting forward all the content we've talked about in this episode, I'm looking at Jordan Addison as a day one mid selection for the NFL draft. That's picks 11 to 20. A lot of talk here on potentially this wide receiver class. Not a lot of guys going off in this range. If there is just one, there's a good chance Jordan Addison is that one. In terms of fantasy football here, I have his ADP projection in Superflex leagues as 105 to 108. I think there's going to be a little bit more coveting of the running back in that top tier of quarterbacks here. But once the wide receiver floodgates open here, Jordan Addison is absolutely going to be in contention to be that wide receiver one off the board in rookie drafts. He is a league winner for me, somebody who I project here with my rookie big board rating to be a consistent wide receiver two with wide receiver one upside pretty much right off the bat. John, we've seen these rookie wide receivers be able to contribute at least as wide receiver twos right off the bat. And if you're going to compare him, John, it's not a necessary film comp, but in terms of the value, like what a player is worth right now in a dynasty league, I think Jordan Addison is coming in right at Cooper Kupp level value, right? And Cooper Kupp, certainly former wide receiver 1 overall. Now, with that little bit of an injury, he's coming back healthy. I covet both of these guys very highly, John, just like everybody should covet the rookie rankings available at patreon.com/rookiebigboard. You're going to want to make sure you check that out. Dig in more to the profile here on Jordan Addison. Chop it up with us on the Discord here. Thanks for checking out this episode of the Rookie Big Board Rookie Profile series.